for the holidays. So hang tight, we'll be starting in just a minute talking about some of these products on Amazon that I love for holiday home improvement basics. Tom Smith, and we're going to get started in just a second. All right, so we are live here. My name is Tom Smith. I'm here from DIY Life Tech, and today I'm sharing some of my favorite picks for some DIY basics for home improvement over the holidays. And these are items, these are projects, these are just really simple things, nothing really complex. We're not going to be knocking any walls down or doing any huge renovation projects. These are all just little things that you can do over the holidays when you have a little bit of free time, maybe some items or gifts you might want to get for other people on your holiday shopping list if you know somebody who loves to do home improvement projects or DIY projects. So we're going to look at some tools and some items and some gifts, and let's just go ahead and dive in and get started here. So the first thing I want to highlight is just a general tool that I think is super helpful to have around the house any time of the year really, but specifically around the holidays. It's a great basic tool to have. And this is the Craftsman V20 cordless drill and driver. So the great thing about the Craftsman V20 is it's totally battery powered, so you're not plugging anything into the wall. It has this lithium ion battery pack that you can see at the bottom here. And that allows you to be really portable with it. You can carry it, anywhere around the house that you need to do projects, take it out into the yard. You don't have to be running extension cords or anything in order to use this. And you can tell from the battery pack on here exactly how much power you've got. There's actually a little button you can press on the back, and these little lights will illuminate, telling you exactly how much power you have left in that battery pack. So that's helpful because you can leave this sitting in your shop and you can pop the battery off really easily. There's just a button you press on here to pop the battery pack off and charge it. But you can just let it sit around and see how much power you have anytime you want to by just pressing that little button. You can see those little illuminated lights. There's 3 of them. When you're low on battery power, that light will be just a single light, and then we just pop that battery pack right off of the drill and driver and charge it up. It comes with a charger that plugs into the wall, and then when we're ready to use it again, we just pop it back in. So super easy to do that. Really simple to swap this out and charge that battery pack and always have this drill and driver ready to go anytime that you want to use it. Now, the cool thing with this is it's quite powerful. It's got quite a lot of torque relative to the overall size of this drill and driver. And I'll show a couple of settings on here. So there's 2 different drive speeds. You can see we've got the 2 on the top here. And then we can also switch this, and we're going to get more torque and a little bit less speed. So again, it's got a drill and driver function, depending on if you want to be driving in a screw or a bolt, or if you want to be drilling into wood or even light metal, you can swap out the bit. We'll see that in a second, and you can customize the speed using this switch for the 2 different gearbox settings on there. So that's really nice to have. If you're just joining me, we're talking live about some home improvement basics. We're looking at the Craftsman V20 cordless drill and driver. If you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat. Very happy to answer any questions that you have here about this device or any of these other products. So it's got that two-speed gearbox, which is really helpful for, again, switching between the drill and driver function. We also have this spinning kind of adjustment around the chuck, where again we can get these more fine-grained control of speed versus torque depending on your application for it. So it's nice to have that control. The actual controls for using it are super simple. So we can just push this here. We can push it in for longer. We get more power there. So it's easy to just do quick little bits if you're wanting to just tighten a hinge or something like that. I've used this for that recently, or if you're going to do more extensive drilling, you can get fully up to speed. And you can see it's actually spinning in reverse. So the other cool thing is that you can just press this little button on the side of the drill and driver here, and that's going to change the direction. So this is this is forward if we're going to be drilling into something, and then say we want to back a screw back out, we move that into the reverse setting, and it's going to spin the opposite direction, and we can remove that there. So it's nice to have that control. Really easy, really good power there, nice torque. It's pretty solid plastic on the side here, so you really got that Craftsman quality, which is great. And it's nice to be able to do those kind of basic home improvement projects around the house. So I've used this for all kinds of stuff. You know, over the holidays, I think you often have a little bit more time on your hands. So if you have an opportunity to do some items off of your longer term list, again, I found one of the hinges on one of my doors was a little bit kind of out of alignment. So I just went with this and very easily tightened that up, got that back into alignment so the door would close fully. And I'll show here you can actually easily, by hand, change out the bit or put in a drill instead of a driver. So there's some bits, you can buy different ones for it. I've just got a Phillips head in here, and the chuck is really toolless chuck. You just turn this and it's going to open and close, and you can accommodate many different sizes of drill bits and driver bits on there. And you can just chuck this closed. Super strong, it's going to hold it in place, and we won't have any problems using this for a project. So again, I did that for hinges on a door, if you're building something simple in the backyard, even if you're putting up a tree and you want to be able to really attach the stand to it securely, maybe take this with you when you go to get your tree and be able to attach that in. You can drill some pilot holes in the base of the tree. Really helpful to have that ability here with the Craftsman V20 drill and driver. So nice basic thing to get for the holidays. This also makes a great gift for somebody who's getting started with home improvement projects, and they just want to get kind of an entry level and have a good quality drill and driver to have in their toolbox or in their shop. This is a great option for that. It's pretty light too, which I think is good. Sometimes you get these big beefy ones that are more designed for contractors. This is light. I can easily use it with one hand, and that makes it easy to take around the house and to use again for those sort of light home improvement projects. So that's the Craftsman V20 cordless drill and driver. If you have any questions at all, I'd love to answer them. Feel free to put them in the chat. I've been using this for almost a year now, so I've gotten quite a lot of different opportunities to try it out in different kinds of projects. And again, I'm happy to answer any questions you have live here. Another thing that I think is great just to have in your toolkit at any time of the year, and particularly over the holidays, are these. These are the really heavy-duty tie wraps. So these are actually kind of a commercial or industrial even quality of these kind of twist ties or tie wraps. So this is helpful for all kinds of stuff. If you've used these before, you know how incredibly versatile of a tool these are. So these are very strong plastic. The tensile strength on this is 175 pounds. So it'll actually support quite a lot of weight. And just like any of these kinds of twist wraps, you basically have a little opening here, and then these are kind of serrated all the way down the length, and we just put this through and it forms a loop, and then we're going to pull this in, and it's got a little clasp again supporting 175 pounds. This is not going to open, and we can cinch this down to whatever size we need for our application. And this is great over the holidays if you're hanging lights, especially. If you're trying to hang up a strand of lights and you want to put it around a tree, for example, without drilling something into the tree, these are great. You can put it around the branch and cinch this down to exactly the length that you need. You've got way more than enough force here to hold that up. You could even use this to secure your Christmas tree or your holiday tree, especially if you've got kids in the house and you want to have some extra support. Just cinch that trunk right onto something near the wall, and it gives you a little bit of extra holding power there. And for any kind of application, basic things even beyond the holidays, if you're trying to connect cords, for example, in your office or anything, it's great to have this because you can accommodate a big thing of cords, no problem. And the cool thing is it starts out in this big space. You could use this to secure something to a pipe outside, for example, but then you can actually cinch this down very, very small. So if I want to connect something really tiny, I can actually cinch this all the way down so that it's about a 1/4 inch, maybe even 1/8 of an inch there. So again, very versatile to have these. And for the holidays, putting up lights, putting up big decorations. I have a big inflatable in my front yard, and it was kind of blowing away. So I took a big rock and I used these to anchor it to the rock and attach it and give it that anchor point. And I just put this through a little loop on there and literally just cinched it around a big rock, and this held the inflatable down in my yard, no problem. So these again are great just to have in your toolkit any time of the year, but especially for those kind of holiday projects, because again, these are great to hold things really securely, 175 pounds, but they're also very temporary. And that's great because, you know, it's nice to have the drill and driver and to attach things permanently in some situations. But the great thing with these is that when you're done, you just take a pair of heavy-duty scissors or a pair of you know, tin snips and just cut this and recycle it, and you're good to go. And you can take your lights down or take your tree down, or in my case, take the rock off of my front lawn. And it's really easy to reverse whatever you're doing with these too. So they're a great temporary but very, very strong item to hold things up for your own project. So I love these. If you're just joining me, we are live. We're talking about a bunch of projects and tools and simple things for home improvement over the holidays. Feel free to put any questions you have in the chat, and please do follow me if you find this helpful at all. It really helps to follow. So please do that if you are enjoying my live stream. So this is the 175-pound tie wraps. You get a bunch of these in the pack, so you have plenty. This is just a chunk of them. There's even more. You can throw these in your toolkit. You can use them all over the house during the holidays, and then when you're done, again, you can just cut them right off really easily and be good to go. So great to have year-round, especially great to have over the holidays. Another fastener that I just want to highlight quickly here, again, if we're going to be using our Craftsman V20, which I showed a moment ago, you want to have, you've got a driver bit like I have here. It's helpful to have some basic fasteners that you can use to hang items around the house, to do basic home improvement projects. I use these all the time in my chicken shed, so you might be able to see it behind me there. I've got a little chicken shed out the window there, and attaching perches for them to roost on, attaching water dispensers, just any kind of basic home improvement type of task there. These Koala Home No. 6 coarse threaded drywall screws are really, really helpful. And they're called drywall screws, but I really find that they're just versatile for any kind of just basic home improvement project like that, where you need a good fastener. These are super heavy duty. They're 2 inches long, which is a great length. So you can go into, you know, through something and into a 2x4, for example, and you're not going to pop out the other side there. They're phosphate coated, so they're really resistant to corrosion and rust, and they're a No. 2 Phillips head. So if I'm going to use this with my drill and driver, I can really easily just put that on and drive into something. I use them to anchor my workbench to the wall. Again, finding a stud, screwing right into it, holds my workbench into the wall, so it's not going to wobble as I'm doing projects on it. There's just a lot of great, easy kind of tasks you can do, and it's nice to have a general purpose fastener that's, again, Phillips head, so it's compatible with a lot of different drivers. It's super strong. You get a pound of them. It's kind of funny how it's measured by the weight rather than the number, so I don't know exactly how many you get in here, but they're self-starting, they have a very sharp point, and it's nice to have those, again, for those kind of basic holiday home improvement projects. Also really useful for you know, things like if you want to hang up a wreath or another decoration in a more permanent type of a way, or create an anchor point that you can use to hang those things every year. This is great to go into, again, drywall or siding, or into ideally something with a stud to back it up. But great thing to just have, again, in your toolkit. That's the Koala Home. It's a No. 6 coarse threaded drywall screw there. This is actually, I'm going to highlight another one here. This is actually one of my favorite home improvement items. This is Gaffer Pro Gaffers Tape. And you can see I've only got a bit of it left here because I've used it for so many different things around the house. And if you're not familiar with Gaffers Tape, I like to think of it like you know, an upgraded version of duct tape almost. And I actually learned about this. I used to do theater tech work, and I did a lot of AV work where I'd be hanging microphones and running cables, and I learned about this is sort of the best kept secret of that particular industry. Gaffer tape, and this is actually Gaffer's Power Gaffers Tape. It's hard to find the real professional grade stuff, and this is the real deal. It's made in the United States. Gaffer Power is a really great company, and the spool that you get of this is much larger. Again, I've just used, you know, most of it here. And the great thing, there's a couple things that make Gaffer's Tape really awesome, and this particular one really awesome. It is cloth backed, so it's very strong, and that also means, though, that it's super easy to tear. So you're not dealing with having to get out a pair of scissors and cutting this. You can actually easily tear it, since it's basically a piece of cloth with adhesive, and you can easily pull that off and just tear it with your own hands there. Once you've got it, this is very sticky. You can attach objects. Again, it's great over the holidays if you're hanging lights and you want to secure the cords against the wall, even on the outside of your house. You can use this, very sticky. It'll hold that up, no problem. Again, that's what it's designed for. I use it to add an extra element of safety. If there's a cord on the floor, I can tape this along the baseboard so it doesn't come off and have someone trip over it. And around the holidays, I think a lot of us are running extension cords and things all over the place to hang things up and hang up lights and inflatables and that kind of thing. So having this Gaffers tape is super helpful for that. Now, unlike duct tape, it'll hold up to heat, which is great. So if you've got lights and things and you're attaching this, it'll hold up really well with that heat. And it doesn't get kind of that gummy gooiness that you sometimes get with duct tape. It's going to hold its form. It's going to hold its adhesive, even with that heat. And then my favorite thing about it is that you can take it off of a surface totally damage-free. So I'll use this to attach things to the wall. Again, if I'm hanging lights and I want to attach the cord down, it's even strong enough to take, a plug strip, for example, and you can make a little tape ball out of this and take your plug strip and put it on the wall. And this is strong enough to attach it, attach an object or attach two different things together. I'm going to talk about these in a minute, but I'll do a silly demo here and just try to attach a couple of objects together. If you're just joining me, we are live here. We're talking about all different basic, home improvement items for the holidays. So you can see the Gaffers Tape from Gaffers Power, no problem attaching these two relatively heavy boxes together with those little tape balls. Actually kind of hard to get it apart. And then it is actually not going to damage the finish when you remove this from a painted surface or from a wall and that kind of thing. So it's really great to have that ability to hang up lights, to hang up a plug strip, even to use this to attach big posters over the holidays. So if you're putting up a big temporary wall hanging and it keeps falling down because you're using basic tape, this is so simple. You just take a piece of it off, you do it on both corners, it'll stay on the wall. When you remove it, it's not going to take the paint with it, and you get a really strong hold there that'll last all through the season, and it's easy to take it back down at the end. So I love the Gaffers Power, Gaffers Tape. Again, it's hard to find a really good version of this. There's a lot of them out there that aren't as good. And Gaffers Power, you can see it's got the little flag in there. It's made in the United States. Great company, great product. You can see just because I've used so much of this over time, I've got almost none left. The actual spool that you get here, it's highlighted. You can see it as a featured item here. It is much, much bigger. And again, I've literally just used so much of it that it's basically almost out at this point. Definitely, I think yesterday I actually just ordered another thing of this because I love it so much. So definitely a really great item to have, again, for the holidays or just in your general toolkit if you want to be doing these kind of basic home improvement projects any time of the year. We are live here, so if you have any questions about any of these products, please put them in the chat. I'm very happy to answer. Love to answer questions. Also, if you're enjoying this, if you're finding it helpful, please do follow me. It really helps, so thank you for that. And so this is the Gaffers Power Gaffers Tape. We can come back to this, can do more demos, whatever anybody wants to see. I'm happy to demonstrate that with the Gaffers Power Gaffers Tape there. If you want to check out any of these products, they're in the carousel, and you can go ahead and click through. I'll be featuring different products throughout the stream. So let's take a look at another really neat item to have, again, for home improvement projects over the holidays or really any time of the year. And this is great for crafts projects too. So this is the Qfun digital calipers. And I don't know, some people have no problem using a measuring tape or using a ruler. I always find it really confusing. I guess I'm just not very good at looking at the ruler and saying, okay, this is 1/8 of an inch, and this is, how am I going to convert and find exactly the amount that I'm measuring there with those little tiny, ticks on there. Especially for crafts projects, if you're trying to cut, ribbon to an exact size, you're trying to do something where you need an exact length of something. I just find that kind of stressful. I don't know if anybody else feels that way or if that's just me. But also, sometimes you need a much more precise measurement than you're going to get with a traditional ruler or measuring tape. And that's where the Qfun digital calipers come in. So this is a set of calipers. Qfun actually sent me this to test, so thank you for that. And it's got this little digital readout on there on the calipers. So we're just going to switch this on. I'm going to press the on button here, and you can see there's a little screen that comes up, and we're going to get a digital readout. So the first thing we want to do is make sure that it's zeroed. When this is totally closed, which it is right now, it should read 0.000. And you can see we get 3 decimal places. It's going to be important in a minute. And we can change the unit. I've got it in inches. There's also a button where you can switch it to metric if you want to get millimeters instead. If it's not zeroed, you can also zero it by pressing the 0 button there. Now, as I open these calipers, you can see the reading on that little screen is going to change. And what it's telling me is the exact distance between the 2 jaws of the caliper here. Again, down to, if you're looking at inches, down to thousandths of an inch. So very, very, very precise measurement of the distance between these 2 pieces of the caliper. And you can go very far out, so you can measure relatively large objects here, and you can go very, very close in, and again, still have an accurate reading. You can also adjust with this little thumb wheel here to get a more precise adjustment, and you can lock in your measurement if you don't want it to move around. You can go ahead and turn this little screw here to lock in. So what are these helpful for? Really anything where you would ordinarily use a ruler or a measuring tape to measure, up to a relatively large item. And you can actually use these to get an exact, precise measurement, again, down to 1,000th of an inch of the distance between these calipers. So if I want to measure, a fastener, for example, maybe I'm assembling a piece of furniture or a toy or something I got my kids for the holidays, and there's a piece missing, which always seems to happen, and you got to figure out, all right, what kind of a fastener am I dealing with, so I can go to the hardware store and get the exact same thing. I can measure the exact size of it using these Qfun digital calipers and know exactly, what size fastener I need to go to get a replacement. So helpful for general home improvement. I love it for hanging pictures. So, maybe you want to hang something up. Maybe you got a new photo that's framed over the holidays, and you've got, different lengths on both sides. And you have to, maybe you've got two fasteners on each side of the frame. You got to mount it on the wall precisely and figure out, the right distance. It's really helpful. Put this, measure the distance you want on the wall, mark this off, lock it in, and then just measure and basically use a pencil or something to mark on the wall, and you can duplicate the exact measurement on both sides to make sure that you've got the exact height that you want to hang that item at. So that's really helpful. Again, you measure on the back of the frame, put it on the wall, mark it off in both places, and you're not sitting there with a ruler trying to say, is this an 1/8 of an inch, or is this a 1/16 of an inch, or what is the scale here? You can get down to that really precise measurement. It takes some of the hassle out of mounting objects like that. And for crafts, this is really great too. So if you're doing a crafts project where you want to figure out the exact size of an item and make the same size, ribbon, or same size of any kind of object where you're doing a craft, it's really helpful to have this really precise measurement as well with the Qfun digital caliper to know exactly what length of material that you're dealing with. It's even really great if you want to do, gardening. You're plotting out your garden for the summer over this holiday time period, and maybe you use grid paper. I know a lot of gardeners who use grid paper and map out their whole garden down to the foot, and you want to measure an exact distance on a diagonal or something, so you can get your map exactly precise. This is great because you can adjust and find that exact distance as well. So really helpful to have, and just again, a nice thing to have in your toolkit any time of the year. Thank you to Qfun again for sending this to me to check out. We can turn this off too. Make sure to switch it off when you're done, and then it goes into this nice carrying case. So this protects it, keeps it, did I switch it off? There we go. Keeps it safe in this blue carrying case. In my case, we can put this in, and then this can just go in your toolkit to have for, again, those pretty precise, smaller measurements here with the Qfun digital calipers. We are live at the moment, so if you have any questions at all, please feel free to ask. If you're enjoying this, if you're getting anything out of it, please follow me. I really appreciate it. It helps a lot. And again, chat is open, so feel free to ask any questions that you have about any of these products. Let's take a look at another one. This is pretty, pretty basic stuff, but super important, especially around the holidays when you might have a lot of people in your house. So let me ask a question to everybody that's joining us live. when was the last time that you changed your air conditioner or furnace filter? Which you're saying, what's that? I've never changed that. Now's the time to go and do that, and get a new filter right away. And the reason for that is that your filter in your home HVAC system, your furnace, your air conditioner, is really important to protect the system and also to keep the air in your home clean. So you're supposed to replace it every 3 to 6 months, depending on the air quality in your home. And again, that'll keep your system running at its most efficient, so it'll save you money potentially on your energy bill. It'll make sure that the air in your home is nice and clean. And it'll protect the system, because if it gets too much dust into it, that can cause issues with the system over time as that dust builds up. So it's very, very important to replace your furnace filter. If you look around your house, you can probably find there's a big register. You open it up, it's super easy to do. You just pop the old one out, pop a new one in, and that's why I wanted to share this one. And this is the Filtrate 14 by 24 by 1 filter. And this is a really great filter that you can pop into your HVAC system at home and swap out your old filter really easily, and replace it and have something that's going to work really well to filter out dust, to filter out any of the items that could be clogging up your filter there, causing any kind of issues with your home HVAC system. So I like that this is the Clean Living filter. So it's a basic dust filter. It's going to remove dust and hair and animal dander, those kinds of basic things, but it's not going to restrict the flow of air through your HVAC system too much. And that's good if you've got an older system, if you want to just get some basic level of filtration in there. Really helpful to have that. And you can see this is the 14 by 24 by 1 size. There's also a variety of different sizes available for whatever kind of filter you have in your own system. And this is a 6 MERV rating. These are rated based on how much filtration they're going to provide. And I like that this is just a more basic filter that's going to get the dust and those kind of basic items out of the air. Because this is a multi-pack, you can replace it more frequently, have better air in your house. And again, if your response to my question, when was the last time you replaced your furnace filter, was never, or what's a furnace filter, now's the perfect time to go check out this Filtrate filter. Grab one, swap it out. You might find that your system will work more efficiently. You may even save money on your electric bill, and it's going to eliminate more of the dust in your house. And again, just keep your system running optimally for the long term. So super easy project. It'll take you 15 minutes, and it's a great thing to do over the holidays, especially if you're burning candles in the house, if you're doing things like cooking that are going to generate more items in the air, like particulates in the air. Great to have a new filter in there in advance of the holidays. So if you have any questions, again, we're live here. If you're finding this helpful, if you're enjoying it, please do follow me. It really does help. Another really simple but really high impact holiday project to check off your list. I'm just gonna have a sip of water here, but we'll come back to this in a second. This is the Speakman AnyStream Hotel Shower Head. So I actually learned about this while staying in a luxury hotel, and they had this great shower head, and I asked actually, what is this? Can I get one of these for my house? And what it turned out to be was the Speakman AnyStream Hotel Shower Head. And this is actually, I have a new one. I installed one. I just got a new one, so I'm going to put it in a different shower. So let's open it here today, and we'll take a look at it, and I'll talk a little bit about why this thing is so great. So Speakman makes these low flow shower heads, and if you've used a low flow shower head, sometimes it's not the best shower experience because it's great for the environment, reducing the flow of water, but that can reduce the water pressure too. And so the cool thing with Speakman is that they have this special setup in here where it actually will kind of amplify the power of the water and create additional pressure without using additional water. So this is still a low flow. In this case, it's a 2.5 gallon per minute shower head, and you can get different ones depending on your own particular location. And this shower head then just replaces your existing one. So again, super simple project. I'm going to put this off to the side. You just take a wrench, you just loosen your existing shower head. This comes with some plumber's tape. It's a silicone tape. You just wrap that around the pipe. put the Speakman AnyStream on there, and then just tighten it up with a wrench. Again, it'll take you probably 10 minutes to do, and you're really going to improve the power of your shower. And the reason, again, is that the Speakman AnyStream actually takes the water, even though it's low flow, and it magnifies it, and basically enhances that stream. And it's got these 5 little sprayers on here, and each of them actually has 10 individual channels in it. So you actually get 50 individual sprays of water coming out of this one shower head. And that's how it's able to achieve so much power and actually, increase that. And the reason it's called an AnyStream shower head is it's actually continuously adjustable too. So you've got this little thing that's going to move these little levers. You might even be able to see these move in and out, and that's going to change from more of a powerful massage setting to more of a general, almost like a rain shower setting as you turn this, and you can choose any stream in between, thus Speakman AnyStream. And this is literally the same shower head that's used in luxury hotels. This is this exact one that was used in the hotel where I stayed, and I asked about it. You can get it for your own home. You can set it up super easily, and it's going to take that low flow and still be an energy efficient shower head, water efficient shower head, but it's going to amplify it and create a much, much more powerful water pressure and much better shower experience. It's kind of magical, actually, I think, using this. So it's really amazing. You'll see, the difference between this and just a basic shower head. So great thing to swap out over the holidays. Really easy to install, something anyone can do. It's nice that it comes with the tape to connect that. This just goes on the existing pipe. You just wrap it around the threads, and it creates a really good seal so that you don't get any leakage around the sides. Just seals that up really well. So great shower head, Speakman AnyStream. It has a little filter on the inside here too. You can pop that out if there's any sediment in your water and clean that filter out periodically. So really great item to swap out. Great thing to do over the holidays. Easy, simple, and something that anyone can do. So let's take a look at a couple more items that are going to, again, kind of improve the energy efficiency of your home and maybe make some overall improvements to the way your house looks over the holidays too. So these are the Torquez GU10 light bulbs. So if you have track lights, old school track lights in your home, you know that they're great because they provide this bright directed light. They're great for things like I have mine in my kitchen. I've got a fixture that has 12 individual little track lights. And again, it's great. You can position them differently. You can light up the countertops. You can light up the middle of the room. You can kind of customize if you've got something mounted on the wall, like a piece of art. You can adjust and illuminate. But the problem with halogen lights is that they're compact, they're tiny, but they actually use a lot of power. So the halogen track lights I had in my own fixture at home, actually each of them used 50 watts. So it's like almost like a full-size light bulb, and I had 12 of them. So when you think about it, my light fixture was using 600 watts when I had it switched on, which is like a space heater or a microwave. So, if I figure I probably left it on maybe 5-6 hours a day in my kitchen, it's using a lot of power for this fixture. So I went looking for an alternative to those traditional halogen bulbs. So it would still be bright, still be powerful, same kind of directed light, same nice warm light that you get with a halogen bulb, but that would use a lot less power. And what I found was these Torquez GU10 replacement bulbs. And these are LED replacements for your existing track light bulbs. It's super simple. The GU10 is just these little plugs on the back. You just basically twist and pop out the old bulb, put the other one in, give it a twist. Really easy to install these. And the advantages of using the Torquez bulbs like this, there's a bunch of different advantages actually. So one thing, they're actually more directed because it's an LED instead of a filament that would illuminate on all sides. It's already directed. It's got a little reflector in the inside to make it even more directed, but you don't lose light out the side of the bulb like you do in a traditional halogen light. So it's actually going to be better directed light and more concentrated light to start with. But it's also going to use a lot less power. So this is only 5 watts. So versus the 50 watts bulbs that were in there before with the halogen, this is 10 times less power. but it's still producing the equivalent of the same overall wattage as the original. So the same number of lumens as my original halogen bulb, a 50 watt, but it's only using 5 watts. So super, super efficient. Again, part of it is the LED, part of it is that it's much less heat. Halogens generate a lot of heat, and it's also more directed, so it can be just as bright without needing quite as much illumination. And actually replacing, this is a pack I use, replacing all of my GU10 bulbs in my fixture, I went from using 600 watts when it was illuminated to only using 60 watts when it was illuminated. So that's a huge difference, huge cost savings, a lot less heat being generated. This is such a simple project. You know, what is it? It's changing a light bulb. But you know, you can save yourself quite a lot of money and get better quality of light with these Torquez GU10 replacements. And I didn't even know there were LED bulbs for a track light until I started to look into these. This is a great quality. These have held up really well. I haven't had any issues with them burning out, and you get a really long lifespan on these as well. So great, great replacement for your existing halogens. Save yourself some money over time. Save yourself some power usage, and these have a super long lifespan. You can get probably at least 15 years, believe it or not. So this is great too if you're going to go up on a ladder. You know, be careful. But if you're going to go up on a ladder and change a light bulb, a light fixture on your ceiling, and you know, you want to swap that out once and then not have to do it again for a while, these are great too to use for that application. So great option there. Really simple item to do over the holidays. Kind of in that same vein, if you've got fluorescent lights and you want to swap those out with an LED, another one where I didn't know this existed until I started to look into it. This is the Hvac, I think it's Hvac electric, and this is a replacement bulb for your traditional fluorescent light bulbs. So if you've got it, so it's called a T8 or a T12. It's like a 4-foot, 48-inch light that you would find in your garage. You might find it, I have some in my laundry room. And as you know, with those old fluorescent bulbs, they burn out, they start to flicker, and they also are glass and can be, they can have mercury in them. And so it's nice to have an alternative that's going to use less power and last for a lot longer, and it's not going to have some of those issues. So that's what you get with this, the replacement T8 or T12 LED bulb. So this is actually a long LED bulb. And it's got the same end pieces, these little things on the end that will go in, the contacts, and you basically just put it in like you would a traditional fluorescent, give it a twist into the fixture, and it's got a long line of LEDs that's going to light just like a traditional glowing fluorescent bulb, but without that flicker, using a lot less power, and it's going to last a lot longer. So it'll actually last for 50,000 hours. It's a long, long time. So even if you're letting these run continuously like I do in my garage, I have them running most of the day and into the night. It's great to have this option to have a bulb that's going to swap out your existing fluorescents. A little bit easier to put in and not have to replace as often. 50,000 hours, that's a long time to have a light bulb last. The quality of the light is really good. You can choose your color temperature. This is a warm white, 3000 Kelvin, almost like a interior incandescent bulb, which is another advantage. It's hard to achieve that color temperature with fluorescents, so it's nice to be able to do that. Again, if you're using this, especially in a living space, I put these in my laundry room, and it matches the light color in the rest of the house. More of that incandescent look than that kind of cold blue fluorescent. And this only uses 14 watts of power. So again, a lot less power usage than the traditional. My traditional fluorescent bulbs would use 40 watts. So 14 versus 40, big savings over time on energy costs and just a much more efficient bulb. And this will actually work with a T8 or a T12 fluorescent to replace it. I found the one thing I would say is that this does require that the ballasts in your light still work. So if you have a really old light and it doesn't work at all, then this will not function. You need to have working ballasts. So either swap those out or ensure that your fluorescent light did work and you're swapping out one that just burned out, not that the ballast is gone. That's the only caveat. But aside from that, there's no rewiring needed. You just put it in like you would a traditional fluorescent, and it's a one-for-one replacement. Really easy, swap it out. And again, energy efficiency, nicer color temperature, especially in your interior spaces, and 50,000 hours of burning time. Really, really good bulb life. You're not replacing bulbs so often, and not having all that waste product of replacing the bulb. Sometimes those bulbs, you have to take them to a special place. I know in my town you have to take them in because they've got that mercury, so this replaces that. You don't have to worry about the mercury. And so this is a really great alternative. If you're just joining me, we're talking about all different basic home improvement projects and items and tools for the holidays. Simple things you can do like this, that swap out a light fixture, save yourself some money over time. If you're finding this helpful in any way, please do follow me. It really helps. And if you have any questions about this or any of the other products, the chat is open. We're live. It's a fireside chat, not a real fireplace. Put your questions in there, and I'm very, very happy to answer any questions. I love to answer your questions about any of these products that we're talking about here today. So this is the Fate Electric. I'm not even sure how to say it, Feet or Fate, F-E-I-T. It doesn't matter because it still works great, and I've been using these again in my home and finding them to work really, really well. Good light quality, that's really important too. Sometimes fluorescents don't have the best color rendering of any kind of light, and these actually with the LEDs do have great color rendering ability. Another light, this is even more high tech. This is the techiest kind of project, I think, of any of the ones that I'm showing here. So this is actually Phillips Hue. This is an LED shape light. And this is brand new. I am going to open it. I'm going to take my keys out and actually open this here, and we can take a look at it together. If I can get the seal off on there. So this is a really cool, again, more like tech-enabled holiday project, and it's great especially for the holidays, and I'll show you why in a second. So this is a LED light strip from Phillips Hue. Phillips Hue is known for really high-quality light and really controllable light. So this is a smart light strip. You can control it from your phone. You can control it remotely if you have a Hue hub, which I do. And I'll show exactly how this works. So go ahead and open all these pieces up, and I can show you what we've got. We've got the light strip itself. So this is basically a bunch of LEDs embedded in this little strip. I'll get to that in a second. We've got our power cord here. We've got an adapter, and we've got a couple of different little back plates for different geographies. So I'm going to get rid of this box down here, and we'll take a look at how this works, and we'll actually set it up together and plug it in and see how this runs. So I've got my power pack here. I'm just going to insert the plug on that. Now I'm going to take this power cord. I'm going to unhook it here. And I'm going to go ahead and plug it into the plug strip. If you're just joining me, we're talking about the Phillips Hue Bluetooth controlled LED light strip. Any questions as I'm doing this, feel free to put them in the chat. I'm very happy to answer. You've got the little converter box here, so we're going to plug this into the converter box. So we've got the plug going into that. Now I'm going to plug this into the wall. I've got a plug strip out here and on my desk, so we'll plug that in. And now I'm just going to do the plug the light strip in. There's a little socket on here, and I'm just going to go ahead. There's only one direction it can go. And you can see this lights up really brilliantly, really brightly, and this is a long strand of these LEDs. And you can see it's actually quite long, and it's actually backed. It's got a coating on the top, so they're embedded in the strip, and it's backed with adhesive. And so the applications of these is, thank you, I see MMM started following me, so thank you for that. If you're enjoying this, yeah, please do follow me. It really, really helps. You'll see all my live streams in the future. So this is the plug strip, or the light strip rather, and what you do is you can use this for a lot of different applications. What I love to use it for is actually as a under cabinet light in my house. So I've got kitchen counters, they're a little bit dark, and I've got cabinets above them. So what I did was actually just plug this in to a electrical socket behind the cabinet, and then I took this whole light strip and I peeled the adhesive off, and I just stuck it all the way along on the underside of those cabinets. and it shines really brilliantly and lights that surface in my kitchen and makes it so easy to cook, especially at night when it's getting kind of dark out and you've got the shadow, you're not getting much light under those cabinets. Lights that countertop up really brilliantly. And this is super long, so it'll go down the whole length of the cabinets, light up that whole surface. It's very bright. Some of these light strips can be relatively dark. This one is actually very, very bright. You're going to get quite a lot of illumination. It's not just kind of mood lighting, it's actually providing a lot of great light in your room, in your space. You can also cut this, so there's little cut points marked on here. There's a little scissors icon in there, and you can actually snip that with a pair of heavy-duty scissors to cut this down to the exact length that you need, again, to customize for your own application. I like to use it for that under cabinet application, running it along, attaching it with the adhesive. I actually use my Gaffers Gaffers Tape, which we looked at earlier, to attach the end part of this underneath the cabinet. And there's actually some adhesive that can attach this on there as well. And then you just plug it into any wall socket. If you're just joining me, we are talking live. We're talking about the Phillips Hue light strip at the moment. This is a Bluetooth controllable light strip. We'll get to that in a minute. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. And please do follow me, it really helps. So you've got this under the cabinet, imagine. Keep moving this around, but this little connector, you've got these under the cabinet lighting up your countertop. But it's not just a static light that's going to provide that illumination. There's actually a lot that you can do with it in addition to that basic application. So this is actually Bluetooth controllable, and you can actually sync it on your phone with the Hue app. And the Hue app allows you to then do really cool things with this, like control it remotely to actually change the color of the light on there. And we can select various different color temperatures of white light. We can also select, we can also do some really cool things like change the color to basically any color that we want on the whole spectrum of different light colors. And again, that's a great holiday function, which I'll get to. So here's the Hue app. I can just say add lights in here. It's going to actually search for that new light that I've just plugged in. And again, this is Bluetooth enabled, so it's a smart light. It's actually able to connect directly to your phone, or if you have a Phillips Hue hub, you can even control these from anywhere. It's remote. So it found my light. I'm going to say start configuration. You can see it's blinking to indicate that it's indeed been found. I'm going to name it test light, so I can give this a name to identify what it is. And you can see in the Hue app, I can really customize, and I can save these in different rooms and do all sorts of cool stuff with it. But at the moment, it's just found this new light. And now I've got this really awesome little color wheel in the app. And I can choose and customize the color of my light strip however I want. So I can make it a bright kind of daylight color if I want to, like this, where it's very bright kind of bluish light. Or I can make it a kind of fun color, again, for the holidays. So it's hard to see on the camera because my camera does a pretty good job of balancing out the white balance here, but this is actually a bright red, or I can make it a bright green color, and it'll illuminate that space in your home in these customizable colors that, again, all I have to do is just drag this little marker around in this color wheel, and I can select any color. It's 16 million different colors, believe it or not, that you can choose with this Phillips Hue light strip. And that's great because, if it's the end of the day and you want it to be kind of a subdued, almost like an incandescent color, you can switch it to be a different white light like that. Or you can, make it kind of brilliant bluish daylight, get yourself, kind of energized with the light in your home. Or, again, for the holidays especially, I could put multiple of these around my house and I could make them holiday colors. So if you celebrate Christmas, you could do green, one in green, one in red. Hanukkah, you could do blue and yellow and customize these to match the mood. And again, it's going to light up whatever you put it under. I've seen people put it along the baseboards in their house to light things up. Put it behind a desk even in an office setting to get that kind of mood lighting, on the back of a television to get a kind of wall light behind it. There's so many applications for the Phillips Hue light strip here. And again, it's really fun for the holidays to be able to customize. And I have little sconces that go up my staircase. I have 3 of them. And so I actually put one of these in each of those, kind of directing upwards and lighting up those little sconces on the stairs. And actually programmed it for July 4th to do red, white, and blue down the staircase. So it's a really cool way to be able to do. Again, with that app on your phone, you can customize and choose any different color for this Phillips Hue light strip that you want. From the basic, day-to-day white color to these fun holiday colors that allow you to do a lot of customization. For Halloween, made it like a spooky purple in the house. Turn the lights off, just have that light, in the room. It gives it a really, really neat themed look there. So really cool device. And then with that smart control, you can do all kinds of other neat things. And so for example, I have mine set up with Alexa, and actually will sync to Alexa. It's Alexa compatible, and I can actually control it with my voice and say, turn off test light, and it'll turn that off. Turn off all the lights in the kitchen, and it'll turn them off. And I can do that remote control, and I can actually set up an automation where it's going to switch it on and off automatically at a given time of day. So I can have it come on in the morning, I can dim and brighten these two, and have it switch off, before bedtime. And it makes it just a really cool automated piece of your smart home. So great for the holidays, cool customizable light. You can change it out for each different holiday and customize it for whatever holiday you're celebrating. Or you can use it just on a day-to-day basis. Again, really great illumination, nice powerful light, plenty of light coming out into the room. If you're just joining us, we're talking live, in this case, about the Phillips Hue light strip. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask them in the chat. If you're finding this helpful, if you're enjoying this, please do follow me. It really helps. So those are some of my top picks for basic home improvement items for the holidays. Just to recap here, if you're trying to swap out some track lights, really love these Torquez GU10 LED replacements. And that's going to reduce your power usage. It's going to end up with a much more directed, powerful light. Also, basic item, really great to have. Swap out your filter in your HVAC system. If you've never done that, if you've never heard of it, now's the time to do that. Please, it's going to help your system run efficiently, help it to stay in good shape over time. And it'll also help to improve the air quality in your house by filtering out some of the dust. So I really like the Filtrate filters. You can see here it's a 14 by 24 by 1. Your own system is going to be probably a different size, and there's all different options for that. So great, super easy project. It'll take you 5 minutes, but really important for the air quality and the efficiency of your system. Another one that increases the efficiency of your home while also improving your living situation, Speakman AnyStream hotel shower head. This is literally the shower head that a lot of luxury hotels use. Super easy to install it. Just swap out your old shower head. It'll take you a couple of minutes, and this actually has 50 individual streams that come out that you can customize by turning this little dial to whatever setting you want. Powerful while still being a low flow shower head. And so you're not going to use as much water, but because it amplifies the power with those 50 individual streams, it actually is going to give you a really good shower experience even with that low flow. So great thing there to swap out in your home. And again, that's why the luxury hotel that I stayed at used that particular one. If you've got fluorescents and you want to swap them out, improve your efficiency, not have to change light bulbs all the time, this is a great option. We looked at the feet. This is a T8 or T12 replacement. It's an LED bulb that's going to replace your old fluorescent lights. Super bright, super brilliant, good color rendering, and 50,000 hours of power of use time. So you're not going to be changing that light bulb for quite a while, even if you run it all the time. And also it's going to save you some electrical power because it's only 14 watts versus it's usually about a 40 watt bulb in the traditional ones. So great option there. Again, I like it because it's easy to customize the color temperature, have more of an incandescent color temperature for inside your home. Another really cool one, This is the Qfun digital calipers. Qfun sent these to me, so thank you for that. And these are great for crafts projects. They're great for anything where you need to measure very precisely the size of an object. So I love these for, again, crafts and anything like mounting a picture on the wall is the best application I've found for it. You measure the back of the frame, see exactly the height you want to get, put this on the wall, mark it off. You're not dealing with a ruler or measuring tape. You know exactly the precise distance you need. You can identify fasteners if you have to swap them out. It's really easy to do that. Another great item we talked about, the Phillips Hue light strip here. Bluetooth controllable. You can put this all along under a cabinet, under a baseboard, even set it up temporarily for the holidays or for a Halloween display. Put it underneath your tree to get really cool underlighting effect with it. And with the Phillips Hue app, you can control this remotely. You can change the colors through 16 million different colors, so really easy to create really neat holiday displays with this. Phillips Hue light strip. Really love that one. For all of your light hanging and cord mounting needs, Gaffers Power Gaffers Tape, much better than duct tape in my opinion. Really great for mounting cables on the wall. It's strong, it'll hold up to heat. It's made in the USA, and it's not going to take paint off of your wall when you go to remove it. So really great, both for indoors and outdoors for those kind of mounting needs. This is, I've used most of this. The actual reel is much bigger, but I just find this so helpful. It's actually holding my plug strip in place. It's holding things all around me that you're seeing or not seeing here. So really great. I learned again about this when I did AV work, and this is kind of the secret of that industry that most people outside of it are not aware of. So check it out. If you're just joining me, we're talking about all different really great home improvement projects and items and tools for the holidays and beyond. Any questions, please put them in the chat. I'm very happy to answer them. Demo any of the stuff you see here. If you're liking this, please do follow me. It really does help. And you can see any of these products in the carousel too. So if you want to click through and check them out, you can go ahead and do that. Another really great item we talked about, nice to have for just basic home improvement needs. This is the Craftsman V20 drill and driver. Good torque, it's relatively lightweight, lithium-ion battery pack, so you get a good amount of runtime, rechargeable, easy to take this around the house. You can use it, as I did, for tightening hinges, for doing basic installation of if you're going to do a yard project, for assembling the furniture and the toys and stuff that you're going to get over the holidays. Great to have this. You're not sitting there with a manual driver trying to assemble some giant item. It's nice to have this power to be able to do that, and really fine-grained control with the multiple speeds on the gearbox, fast or slow with more torque. You can easily adjust that and make those changes right on the drill and driver here. Because it's Craftsman, really good quality on that. Also, feel free, any questions, I'm going to take a sip of water here. We are live, so any questions you have, please do put those in the chat. Another one, kind of a similar vein to that, kind of goes together. These are my Koala Home construction fasteners. This is a 6 by 2 inch drywall screw, and these are a great general purpose fastener. You can use it for more than just drywall. I like to use it for basic kind of projects around the house. I've used these to attach, like if you have a big wreath or a big item outside of the house, you want to mount it for the holidays. This can go into siding, can go into drywall, go into a stud if you have more weight you need to support. I use it in my chicken shed all the time to attach perches and attach that kind of thing. Just a great general purpose fastener, and it works great with my Craftsman drill and driver. Put it on there. It's a standard Phillips head. Really easy to use these for all kinds of purposes. You get a bunch of them in this package. This is actually a pound of them, and they're 2 inches long, which is kind of the perfect length for just general household projects. So great to have these. They're phosphate coated, so they're not going to rust or corrode, and you can just have that anywhere around the house for your toolkit. And again, really great for over the holidays. Maybe you want to make sure that your tree is mounted really securely into the holder, put in a couple extra fasteners in there, and that's helpful to have. Final thing I want to highlight here, again, is these UV resistant, super strong, it's 175 pound tie wrap here. So I showed this one earlier. Let me get a fresh one out. These are great for anything where you want to mount objects together, if you want to connect up cables. I love them for over the holidays to attach lights to objects like a tree where you don't want to have to screw something into it, but you want to have a nice secure attachment over a big, tree branch or something. And basically you just connect these together on the end, and it's got little kind of ratchets almost on the inside, and then you pull this to exactly the size you need, and it's going to lock those cables together. It's great if you want to mount like a plug strip on a pipe, for example. Put this around it, pull this, cinch it down, connect it on there, and you can plug all your holiday lights into that really readily. Great for all kinds of different applications over the holidays. Super strong. It starts out really big. Again, if you wanted to put lights around like a tree branch, and then you can cinch it all the way down so that it's this tiny, tiny little attachment point. So you can use it for a lot of different applications for the rest of the year. Great to have in your toolbox. Great to organize cables in the office or in the garage to attach, again, those plug strips to the wall and that kind of thing. You can come up with all kinds of great applications for these throughout the year. So thank you for tuning in. Again, if you have any questions, any remaining questions, please put those in the chat. If you've enjoyed this, please do follow me. It really helps. You can check out any of the products that we talked about here today in the carousel. And thank you again for tuning in and learning about some of these items that, again, I think are great for the holidays and also great to have throughout the year. So thank you for joining us.